Okay, this is Forever Joyful Skills for cello. So I'm going to start with my D major scale. We have those two sharps, F sharp and C sharp, so make sure on C string, on G string, we have to get those big stretched fours, the extended fours. So on the C string, first finger, stretch real big to 2. Instead of playing a third finger, you're now putting a second finger on the third tape. That way your fourth finger will fall past the fourth finger tape. So your third finger will actually land on that tape, so fourth stretches past it. And then you'll do the same thing on the C string. First finger, stretch your second finger, and then fourth falls ahead. So I'm going to play the D major scale for you. On the C string, you're going to probably feel like you're stretching even further just because it's even a further reach over. And on the C string, make sure you add a lot more weight so those notes come out quickly. Now, for B minor, if you are playing the bottom notes, we're all starting on the on the G string. Instead of starting with the third finger, we're going to stretch and start with our second finger on the third tape, so an extended 2. Then you're going to play that extended 4. Then when we come over to D, it's just open 1, 3. On the A string, open 1, 3. And then you drop back down to those lower notes. So let me start with just the lower octave. Playing the top octave. Let me just talk through that top octave before I play it. So let's start on the A string, first finger on B. Then you're going to play C sharp, third finger, fourth finger D, and then you're going to shift up to fourth position. So that next tape past your fourth finger, put a 1 there. On E, third finger on F sharp, and then from that F sharp, instead of playing a fourth finger, that next half step, you're going to put your first finger there. So third finger, instead of 4, slide your first finger there, whole step to your second finger, whole step to your third finger. Back to second, back to first, shift back, third finger, first finger, shift back to first position with the fourth finger. So I'm going to play the whole 2 octave scale now with the upper octave. practices the different style markings that we see throughout Forever Joyful. The first one is tenuto. It's the lines that go above or below the notes, and those mean to play the note for their full value. It just means to make them play them all the way through. Don't stop that bow at all at the end or before the next note. Play the bows very connected one to the next. The next one is staccato, and that means to just stop the bows at the end of each note. Accents is that extra emphasis at the end, beginning of each note, so extra weight, extra force. And then marcato. Marcato is like a very heavy staccato accent. So on the marcato notes, you're gonna really dig in more than on an accent, and you're gonna stop those bows like you would for a staccato. The rhythms we've already counted in class, so I'm going to play through each of these with the metronome set at 85. One, two, three. Something that really helps me as I play that rhythm pattern 1, is on the rest, I almost lift and reset my bow so that it has a chance to grab the string before I play again, and that stops me from speeding up. Just that little motion keeps you grounded in the rhythm. All right, rhythm 2. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2. Repeat. 1 and 2. Go on. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Go on. 1 and 2. If you notice, for all these rhythms, I'm staying near my balance point, and I'm using very, very stopped small bows. All right, rhythm pattern 3. 1, 2, 3. Rhythm 4 is somewhat similar to rhythm 3, but now we have a couple more repeated eighth notes, and the big difference here is the bowing. You have down, lift, down, and then after the up on the rest, you play an up right after. So for the downs, you're gonna lift. When you have the double up, you're gonna play up, and then wherever you stop, you're just gonna play the next up bow from there. So rhythm 4, 1, 2, 3. Down, down, up, up. I'm gonna do that one in slow motion so you can really watch my bow. 1, 2, 3. Down, lift, down, up, rest, up, down, lift. The next section are our double stops, so non-divisi. So whenever you see two notes together in this section, you're gonna play both of them together. The trick to playing non-divisi clearly is to try to get that bow balanced on both strings so you hear them equally. But once you start adding notes on one string, you may have to lean your bow a little bit more that way so you hear the notes clearly. And when you start adding notes on D while you're playing open A, or really anytime you're playing notes on a string lower than your open string, you want to make sure you have really good posture. Thumb behind that second finger. Thumb behind that second finger. Hand nice, open, and curved. And make sure those fingertips are over the string so they're not bumping A at all, and you can clearly hear the notes on D. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. section, we're doing the bowing. So you have 3 notes in a slur. You want to make sure you're keeping those notes all completely equal and even. You're not rushing because of the slur. And then you have the next pattern where it's 2 notes in a slur and 1 separate. 1, 2, 3. Next, we have the bowing where it is 8th note slurs. So you have 2 notes in each slur, and you're going to be changing your bow on the beat. In measure 61, you see you have a string crossing. So you got to really let your elbow and your wrist help each other out so you can change strings clearly without a break. 1 and 2 and 3 and. What helps with those slurs is if you are closer to the middle. If you're too low in the bow, you won't be able to do the string crossing very clearly. And then for our very last section, we have some different finger patterns. So you guys have this G to B flat. We could play that 4th finger to 1st finger, a low 1, but we're actually going to do this whole section here in 3rd position. So you're going to move your 1st finger up to your 4th tape, and here you're going to play 1, 4. 2 measures later, you see you have that B flat to E flat. You're going to keep your 4th finger down, and now you're going to play your 2nd finger across the string on A. And then the last little section, we start with F sharp to G sharp. So you're already going to start with an extended 2. So that should be play that G sharp, the extended 4. After you play these 2 measures, instead of shifting our hand back, we're just going to play our 3rd finger for the G. So your 3rd finger should be on the 4th tape, and you'll play that G to an open A. 1 and 2 and 3 and.